Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, now we hit.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we hit. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
So the next thing that you're going to want to do to market your self-published book is run online advertisements for the book. Okay, so Clay, tell me a little bit about this and why this is important and how this can have an impact on selling a self-published book.
Well, it really relates to a chili cook-off we did at a place I used to work at years ago called Faith Highway. And the chili cook-off was there, and these men, the deal was like, we're going to have a chili cook-off, and whoever makes the best chili wins this cash prize. So people like made their own recipes, and we had some people that were really good at making chili, right? And so then we had people that didn't know what the heck they were doing, and then we had people that were like sleepers. Like they were awesome, but we didn't know they had any talent or skill or any knowledge of how to even cook. We had one guy who won, he actually won, and none of us knew he'd ever cooked anything at all. So what happens is that we did it multiple years. But what you do is when you're in the chili cook-off, you don't want people to know the name of the person who made it. That's the key. Because people will homer out and go, oh, my boss, he makes the best chili. Yeah, because he's your boss. Your boss, my boss is so good. So what we did is you put out the chili and everyone gets a sample. And then we were supposed to score it on a scale of 1 to 10, which one we liked the best. Well, one guy made this chili and he threw in a Hershey bar into the chili. And it had the little sweetness to it. And all of us loved it. And we were like, wow. One guy made a spicy one that we loved. All I'm saying is that it was a blind study. So if you look at this, I'll just draw an example here for you. If you have one bowl of chili here that you made, right? One bowl of chili that I made, one bowl of chili that Marshall made, one bowl of chili that your daughter made, one bowl of chili that your wife made, one bowl of chili that your neighbor made. Well, I mean, if you want to stay married a long time, your wife probably has the best chili because, you're a little bit of a homer. You know what I mean? Happy wife, happy life. So what happens is that we do that with our own ideas. So we make an ad that we feel so good about because we made it. And we're like, this is the one. I'm telling you, that's the one. And we'll make it. And we just die on the hill. We cannot possibly accept that our idea could be a bad idea because we see the name wife on it. We see the name I wrote it. It's blindness caused by ego. But if you'll create online ads with zero bias and you just go, look, I'm going to create 6 ads and I'm going to run them and I'm going to see which one gets the most clicks and which one gets the most people who go from the click, they click through it, and they actually go to our shopping cart. So there's these 3 aspects that you're going to track. You want to track the number of impressions. That's how many people saw the ad. And that data is easily available. Thrivers, by the way, we have more detailed trainings coming out on that, and we'll actually teach you if you come here to a workshop how to set it up. But the thing is, you run the ad on the Facebook, just to cyclists, people who'd appreciate your book. You track how many impressions of each ad. So we had 100 people who saw this one, 100 people who saw that 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 one, and 100 people that saw that one. But of the data, this one over here that Roy made, like the number of clicks, the number of people who said, "Oh, I liked it." I mean, I liked it enough to click it. We had 60 people that clicked it because they liked the title of his chili. Roy's Blazing Chili, too hot to handle, So 60 people were like, oh, I want that Roy's chili. Then you have over here, you have 95 people who had this chili by Doug because they were like, Doug's chili says guaranteed best in the world chili. Because he claimed to be best in the world. People are like, well, if he says he's best in the world, I probably should try it out. Roy's Blazing Hot scared some people. But you look at the data and you said 15 people voted for Roy as being the best, and only 1 voted for Doug as being the best. Even though Doug's got the most views or most samples, it didn't win. And that's how you got to look at the data. And so you just track it that way. Make a spreadsheet and you track it every week. And we have a template that you can download that shows you how to track the data. And it's just magical when you see it. And so that's how it works. And so we'll teach you how to measure that. But then you have these platforms that every Thriver needs to know how to do. And Thrivers, we have more trainings coming out to teach you how to do this. But I want to make sure that every Thriver, you have to do all of these. If you're not doing it, you're losing. So one is Google Shopping. It's Google's version of like Amazon, essentially. It's you go to Google and you search for something, and then you click on the little shopping tab. We'll show you how to do it. And there it is, Google Shopping. The second is Amazon. Rumor has it people are checking out that website. Rumor has it. The third is Facebook ads. People are on Facebook. People say, well, millennials aren't on Facebook anymore. Well, yeah, I'd say there's more and more millennials on Instagram. But you know what? A lot of moms and dads, a lot of 30-year-olds, a lot of 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds, on Facebook. So for your demographic, people who have enough discretionary income to invest in a nice bike, I would argue Facebook will probably do very well for you. And then retargeting ads. Those are the ads that follow people around on the internet. There's a company called AdRoll that's based in Ireland that we recommend because they're the only retargeting ad company that we can find that doesn't lock you into a contract. And on each of these, you can spend like $25 a week minimum. You can set your minimum levels, so you're not committing to spending thousands of dollars, but you can test it out quickly, get that data, and that data will then allow you to know what tweaks to make on your website. Because if you know that everyone's clicking the world's best chili, you should probably put that on your website somewhere. So that's how it works. Marshall, does that make sense?
It makes sense for me. John, do you understand kind of like the different vehicles that you're going to want to do? Maybe certainly we can get into the other trainings where specifically we're teaching you how to do the Facebook ads,
right?
In our Facebook marketing training, or doing setting up an Amazon seller account. We're going to teach you how to do that. But do you understand the different vehicles to getting the book out into the marketplace?
Yeah, that looks good.
My to-do list has a little over 1,200 items on it right now. Get used to that, and then prioritize it and put the most important thing first. And then as you go down the list, it's less important, and you're always adding things to the list. You're never fully getting it done. But as an example, these moves we're teaching you right now about reaching out to blogs and podcasts, you're getting like a fire hose of knowledge. So a lot of people will go, oh my gosh, my brain exploded. But what you want to do is figure out what do you need to do right away.
Right.
And so right away, getting those 5 books that you're going to compare, those 5 GOATs, those greatest of all time books, those 5 best practice books that are similar to yours to research. I recommend you start there. You clean up that manuscript, work on the cover. Those are things I would do right now. Mm-hmm. Then next, get that website going on. Next, and you got to build a kind of a linear path with which to get your book into the marketplace. And that's the biggest thing that any Thriver can do as a result of, as you learn this, you need to take about 15 minutes a day to learn. But then you need to take the rest of the day to execute. And you just wake up and you go, look, I have a job. I don't have like infinite amounts of time to sit around and, pontificate about my book. So you got to go, well, what is one thing that I can do today? Well, what I can do today is I can work on, boom. And you just block out time and say, well, when am I going to do it? I'll do it during lunch. I'll do it at night. I'll do it before work. So what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? How long will it take? And you break up those 1,200 to-do lists. Because the process of getting your book out there, just making up a number, but I've helped a lot of authors, so I think it's somewhat clear. We ended up breaking down to a little over 800 actionable items he had to take to get his book into market.
Okay, so the next thing that we're getting into are speaking events and booking speaking events and using that as a platform to get your book out into the marketplace. This is huge. Clay, I know that you've done a number of speaking events over the course of the years.
Thousands. Seriously, over 1,000.
Okay. Thousands of speaking events. Why is this a good platform to sell a self-published book?
I wish it wasn't. I love these speaking events because of the wonderful people we meet from all over the world, and I love seeing people impacted. One lady literally came up after a speaking event and said, you have no idea how what you said today impacted me. I've been looking for these answers. And it kept happening, and that's why we built Thrive 15, is because people need these answers. We wanted to scale it out. The problem is speaking events require you to, for me, I always bring my wife with me, but I have 5 kids. So now my kids can't go with me. I have to change my schedule. I had to, get your luggage, book your ticket. I've literally flown up for a speaking event in Wisconsin, and I got there, and my credit card, I grabbed my wife's credit card instead of mine, and so I couldn't actually rent my car, and my wife somehow, long story short, she wasn't with me on the event, so I had to take a cab ride And I paid $1,200 to ride a cab from the hotel, from the airport in Green Bay up to my event and back. I've had to travel with 200 pounds of books, paying $600 to ship my books to the event. I've had to spend the night in the airport in Albuquerque. I was in New York for an interview with Bloomberg, and a taxi cab drove in front of me and totally splashed all my clothes. Not kidding. Had to buy clothes right before the interview. I can go on and on and on the non-glamorous aspects of speaking events. But when you're in front of an audience and they can look you in the eye and they get that you really care, nothing's better. And so, there's going to be an event right there for you specifically where it's for biking enthusiasts. They're going to a rally. Maybe they're going to have a big race tomorrow, and tonight they're going to have a banquet. Maybe there's a health awareness thing for a company. Maybe there's an HR director at a company who's looking for a speaker. Maybe there's a American Heart Association is doing an event, and they need somebody to come in from the outside. Not to get into Proverbs, but in Proverbs it talks about how the messenger, the prophet can't come from his own town. Weird deal, but you have to, the expert. We brought in this expert from Florida to talk to us today about, because you came from out of town, they're going, wow, this guy must be an expert. So check this out. I'm going to read this little commercial to you. This is how it's going to sound in the future, and I want you to hear it because it's going to happen to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's speaker, John Tucker, is a best-selling author of a book called Such and Such. He has been a cyclist enthusiast for years. He works full-time at Yada Yada, and his love of cycling has now turned into an international book-selling sensation. Let's hear it for Yada Yada. And then people are going, I want to hear that. I'm from corporate America, and I would like to have a book, or I would like to get into better shape, or I would like to, and then you're just talking from your heart, and you say, guys, I wrote the book called Such and Such because I really wanted to connect with people about three things. And today we're going to talk about one of those things. Today we're going to talk about, so the people leave going, I want to read the rest of the book. And then in the back, you say, guys, in the back of the room here, for anybody who's here today, if you want to buy the book, what we're going to do is we're going to do two things. One, if you buy my book is $15. And if you buy it, I'm going to donate $5 back to the Yada Yada Association, or $1 back, or I'm going to make this download available for you if you buy the book today. Or you can get a discount on the book today. Or if you buy the book today, you can get a discount off one of my sponsors, Yada Yada Biking or something. But you sell the books. And when you sell the books, if it's a good book, people will talk about the book. I said a good book. If it's a book that people like, there's a difference between good books and books people like. There's books that I've read that are really, really good that no one likes, a.k.a. the Service Profit Chain. Heskett, man. I love you, Heskett. He's a professor at Harvard, and his book is awesome. But people don't read it because people want short little, small books. But what I'm saying is that is a great way to do it. So I'm going to break it into the specific details for you. There's 3 moves you got to do, okay? One is you need to make a Gig Masters account, gigmasters.com. And guess what? They're going to ask you for a video. They're going to ask you for a PR kit, photos, a bio. Most of the tools you already have made by that time. How do you get video footage of you speaking if you haven't been paid to speak yet? Good question. What you want to do is you want to volunteer to speak at your local chambers, your local events, your local Rotary clubs, your local biker enthusiast events, and you want to film them and video them so that you can show people examples. I worked with a speaker who we've helped go from being a school teacher to a multi-million-dollar speaker just by this very system. So gigmasters.com is you make your account there. The second is Gig Salad, G-I-G Salad. It's another place. You pay about $35 a month for these listings. And then you want to try, if you can, to find an agent. Because agents make their money when you make money. And usually they won't book you until people want to book you, which is stupid. They won't book you until people want to book you. But start off on Gig Masters and Gig Salad and go out there and get yourself some speaking events. And I'm just telling you what I did. I spoke at the Junior Achievement for years, 9 years for free. I didn't know what I was doing. Speaking for free, really annoying people, probably not teaching them very much, didn't have a plan, never used an outline. It was rough. Now I look back at myself and say, dumb. But I spoke, and the last 2 years I started making outlines, having a plan, and people started saying, you're getting pretty good. I'd like to hire you to come speak at our group. What do you charge? Do you have a website? And I'm like, no. Dumb. Do you have a PR kit? No. Do you have any sample videos? No. I'm thinking, if I would have recorded that. So when you do speak, you need to video it. At the events, you need to go ahead and get reviews of you speaking. So at the end of the event, you want to have your wife or a family friend or a person you're hiring to come with you, and you'll say, hey, would you mind sharing on camera your thoughts about today's speaking event? I'd love to hear your feedback. And you film their feedback, and then you upload it onto YouTube, and you name it after yourself. So you would go in there and you would name the document as you'd say, like, John Tucker Speaking Reviews. And when people Google your name and speaking reviews, you will come up with good results. People will have positive reviews. And if you Google my name and type in Clay Clark Speaking Reviews, you can probably see 100 of them or so up there. And it's kind of fun, but over time you start to see the evolution of getting better and better feedback, and that's how you do it. So what questions do you have about this whole, I know it's a lot, and we'll dive in with more trainings as well, but what questions do you specifically have about getting into speaking?
That I think the biggest thing is just getting out there to, get in front of people. I've had opportunities over the years, but I'm not a good self promoter, so that's a.
What is your? I shouldn't ask this, but I do ask it because that's what I do, and we'll edit it out if you're not happy with your answer. But what is your religious view?
I'm a Christian.
Okay. So as a Christian, so you got half the people are like, that crazy book, the Bible. What are you talking about? But anyway, the thing is as a Christian, you are taught humility, and I encourage you to get into the Scripture and figure it out yourself, because I'm certainly not a biblical prophet, but I'll just give you something I think that you need to hear. Somebody here needs to hear it too, because even if you have a different religious view, you need to hear this. If you do believe in God or a higher power, you have to believe that the person who made the planet is excellent, or the being is excellent. You have to believe that. Right? God made the mountains. If you don't believe in God, then the Big Bang made the mountains. But something intelligent. I've heard this said by George Lucas. He goes, I don't really know, not sure who God is, but he had to be pretty great to have made something so complex. If you just throw crap against a wall, nothing really ever looks good. And to think that the universe just came from that requires a little bit more faith than I have. So you have to, divine in design. But all I'm saying is, if that God or that being made the great planet, think about the most beautiful thing, the beaches in San Diego. With the snow-covered mountaintops, the Appalachians, the Rocky Mountains, Mount Everest, just wow. Japan, the life, just wildlife there, the Amazon. My wife and I went down to Brazil. Are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. Roatan. You lived in Costa Rica. Somebody who can make something that awesome, in my mind, would want, if you're a reflection of that person, would want what you're doing to be awesome. I think, God is excellent. And I think that if you're going to do anything as a representative of God, I think that anybody who has a religious view who hopes to be a good representative of God needs to make things excellent.
Yeah.
So what I do is, it was taught to me by a mentor. He says, listen, your work is worship. So I was talking to a person from India about this, and she goes, my work is my worship. So you won't have a problem with my work ethic. I don't work for you. I work for God. And I just was like, are you kidding me? And I see that in your work ethic. You don't really care what I think. You're working as unto God. I see that a lot. And so I think a lot of times we get it wrong as Christians is we go, God wanted us to be humble, and therefore I don't want to, promote my own thing. But I do think that you're not promoting your thing. You're promoting God's thing.
Right.
So you're not promoting you're promoting God's thing. And you're going, look, God's given me a certain set of talents. I want to share that with you. And so I always look at it as, if someone says to me, Clay, are you a good speaker? Somebody asked me that 3 days ago on the phone. He said, are you a good speaker? I said, I am the best business speaker in the field of entrepreneurship potentially ever. And they said, are you, they're thrown off by that. I said, no, I really am. And it's not by my own thing. God has given me a certain set of talents, and I've just worked as hard as I can, and I'm just using those talents. I can tell you I didn't used to be, but now if you book me, I guarantee it's the best. And they're like, oh, well, I guess you're confident. We'll book you. I hear that all the time. But I used to say, well, I don't know. I kind of, I'm pretty competitive. I'm okay. You got to get to a point. So then to say those kind of statements, you better back it up. So recently with Thrive, I didn't say this before, but I said it last week, said it 2 weeks ago. We are building the world's best business school. So someone says, you mean better than Harvard? Yes. You mean better than Cornell? Yes. Why? Thrivers who have graduated from those schools have actually emailed us and said, I've learned more on Thrive than I learned there. But we're not there yet. But we're saying we are the best, Now we got to live up to that hype. We got to deliver. So when you ask a question, we have to be able to answer it. So that's just something I think a mental breakthrough you're going to have is just kind of, and I would encourage you to maybe write an affirmation or find a verse or something you can sink into that states that, you do serve an excellent God and you do need to work as unto the Lord. And if you do that, Proverbs 10:4 states that God blesses the hand of the diligent.
Yep.
And diligence is the constant application of effort. So I think if you go in there with a diligent mindset, you're working as unto the Lord. And again, if you're not somebody who believes in God, you're kind of like Elon Musk. Elon Musk believes that he only lives once and he doesn't want to do anything he's not proud of. So same mindset, but you got to find a way to get there.
Do you have more questions on that? I mean, that's awesome. And I know that a lot of thrivers are facing the exact same thing. So do you have more questions on that, John?
No.
Okay.
I have one more thing I want to add, though, because
Okay.
I've talked to thrivers about this. Anytime you're awesome at anything, most people will hate you. So just deep thought. Martin Luther King, he basically helped end the social injustice, the civil rights movement. So what we do? Killed him. Some people say, well, he wasn't perfect. He did have affairs. Yeah, who's perfect? But I'm saying he got killed. So, Ronald Reagan's like, hey, we probably need to end this whole Cold War deal. Like this whole idea of nuclear explosions that could happen at any moment. It's probably not good. We should probably end that. They shoot him. Jesus, he's like, hey, check it out. You need to love people, the way Christ loves the church. You need to take care of your fellow man. He invented the golden rule, Hey, let's kill him. 33. I mean, the Boston Red Sox, they won a couple World Series. The Chicago Bulls won, 6 championships. People hated the Bulls. Remember that? People hated the Bulls. You had the Yankees. What are they guilty of? Winning? Well, they spend too much on their players. You got to be kidding me, Royal fans. If your team was spending $280 million a year on your lineup to win every year, to be competitive, you would go, I love it. So the Patriots are winning all the time. No one runs around going, I hate the Jaguars. The Jaguars, people are going, are the Jaguars even still a National Football League team? Do they have a team? You know what I mean? I mean, so I'm just saying anytime you're excellent at something, they will criticize you. They just will. And recently my wife was in the Tulsa World sharing a story about our son's healing. And I've had people email me horrible things because my wife was asked, was your son blind? Yes. Was he healed? Yes. Does that freak people out? Yes. And there's people that for whatever reason, as soon as they see something that's not normal, they attack it. And so I'm just saying, go read Lord of the Flies, the fictional book that explains this more in depth if you want to. But just understand, if you do anything excellent, you will be hated for it.
Makes sense. So let's recap these different things real quick that contribute to marketing a self-published book. First, the tools that you need before marketing yourself: the website, the BR kit, the logo, and all of it must be world-class, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is reaching out to blogs. Become a guest feature, do an interview, allow them to open up and understand your content through the blog format. But the same thing goes for podcasts. That's the next point. Going through and making a list of different podcasts to be featured on. That way you can hear your voice across the world.
And when you nail it, they will nail you for it. So as you start to become an expert, the people who've known you forever are going to go, who is he? Who does he think he is? I know who he is. I have worked with him for years, and he is not anything special. I see him every day. And when you see him on a day where he's upset, you won't even understand what it's like. I can't. But then people who don't know you are like, oh my gosh, you're such a wise wizard. So you've got to understand that as a general rule, the more success you have, I'm just telling you, I see people at Whole Foods and Sprouts who come up to me and go, are you the guy? You're the guy. You're helping my son. I'm like, well, do what? He's on Thrive 15. You helped him start his company. He's killing it right now. One lady came up to me and hugs me by the sushi. Literally, she goes, my son is doing everything on there. His business is blowing up. Thank you. And I'm like, okay. Well, then you have family members who are like, who are you giving advice? You can't even dress yourself. You wear the same thing every day. True. So you just got to understand that there's just, as you nail it, they're going to nail you for it.
Okay, and then the next thing is the online advertisements. We talked about the different platforms to take out ads on, okay? The Google Shopping, Amazon, Facebook ads, retargeting ads, okay? So we talked about that. And then lastly, the speaking events. Booking yourself for speaking events, doing some volunteer events up front, but then the different platforms, Gig Masters, Gig Salad, to begin building a following of speaking events.
And I would be remiss if I said, if you're going to speak professionally don't practice on the audience. So what you'll need to do is become an excellent speaker. And we have trainings on Thrive 15 about how to become a great speaker. Some people agree or disagree with the religious beliefs of Carlton Pearson, but he has some unbelievable trainings on that. Also, Dale Carnegie, he wrote a book about public speaking, which is phenomenal. We'll put the name of the book up here right now. And there's one more book about public speaking that everyone should know who wants to speak. Brian Tracy has a book on public speaking. So we have trainings on that.
And Jim Cathcart.
Jim Cathcart, unbelievable trainings. And Jim Cathcart was actually named at one point the #1 speaker in the world. And he's got awesome trainings on Thrive 15 on how to do it. So again, the recap of those 4, though, Jim Cathcart's trainings, phenomenal. Dale Carnegie's book on speaking, phenomenal. Brian Tracy's book on speaking, phenomenal. And the trainings we have on Thrive 15, they're just dive into it, but don't get up there in front of an audience without an outline like I did. Oh, I mean, people would write comments like, I don't think at any point he had a point. And I'm like, so? I mean, it's just, so not good.
All right, Thrivers, thank you so much for joining us for how to market yourself with a self-published book. And we're going to get into some more self-publishing tips and tricks, pros and cons in other trainings. But, John, thank you so much. Clay, thank you.
Thank you for thanking me.
The white moose is loose.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the 2-time Heisman Award winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times best-selling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money.
JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did
Yep.
you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time before enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shot everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa! Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us in getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I've learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence, that businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere at Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow our business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.